probably noticed the world feels a little tense right now. Everyone's debating, reacting, retreating, and somewhere in there you're wondering if it's even worth starting that thing you've been thinking about. Maybe you've said to yourself, it's too late to build something meaningful. Or, with everything going on, does any of this even still matter? You're not alone. We're living in a moment where people are tired of noise but hungry for meaning. And that's exactly where your story comes in. By the end of this episode, you'll see why you are right on time to start, why your legacy doesn't have to fit anyone else's calendar, and how to build something lasting, even in a world that feels like it constantly breaking news. What's new next? What's happening? Hi, I'm Trusted Tour Guide Annie, your companion for life's meaningful milestones. I'm a Canadian living in the US, so I've spent my life walking that invisible bridge between two cultures. And right now, when there's tension across that bridge, I believe story, not politics, is what keeps us connected. When I was around 14, I volunteered for the first time as a hostess for the International Freedom Festival, one of my first experiences giving back to the community. I'd stand along the Windsor riverfront, greeting visitors as fireworks exploded over the Detroit River. That festival actually began in 1959 as a joint celebration between Windsor and Detroit, honoring both Canada Day and US Independence Day. And at its peak, it drew over 1 million people across both shores. I remember the heat of those July evenings, the smell of the water, the sound of the crowd, the carnival, and the hush right before the sky lit up. Even then, I could feel how celebration and connection could bridge those borders. Those nights taught me that legacy moments don't belong to one nation or one name. They belong to anyone who decides to make meaning from a moment. Now, as the US approaches its 250th birthday, I see it not just as an American milestone, but as a reminder that every life, every family, and every community gets to define its own sense of what matters. For you, the milestone might not be the 250th. It could be turning 50, or retiring, or finally sitting down to write the stories your grandmother used to tell. Or maybe it's opening that old recipe box and realizing that every stain on a card is a memory worth saving. Because preserving a recipe is really just another way of saying, this moment mattered. This person, they mattered. And I'm going to preserve it. If you've been following this series, you know we've covered how to spark, build, and deepen a legacy project. Whether that's a family recipe collection, a digital archive, or just reclaiming your creative rhythm after a busy season. And if you're new here, today is your perfect starting point because this is where reflection meets action. Project management rule number 1: every project starts with where you are. They call it discovery, not where you wish you were. So let's make this practical. Pull out that notebook or phone, write one phrase. By this time next year, dot, dot, dot. That's your project prompt. Maybe by this time next year, you'll finish recording your dad's stories, or printed your first recipe book, or launched a community project that outlives your calendar. Whatever it is, write it like it's already in motion. That single sentence is your kickoff document. Congratulations, you just started. Here's your next micro step. Open your Legacy Snapshot Workbook, your free 5-step story capture tool from episode 14. If you don't have it yet, you can download it anytime at join.trustedtourguideannie.com. It's completely free and designed to help you capture one meaningful story in about 10 minutes. Once you've got it, choose one project that matters most. Not the loudest one, not the biggest one, the truest one. And if you've already finished that, move to your next milestone. Because legacy work isn't a ladder, it's a cycle. Plant, grow, gather, rest. Plant, grow, gather, rest. And begin again. So, yes, the world's noisy right now. And yes, the US has a big birthday. Don't confuse the fireworks for the work. 250 is just one kind of legacy project, a national one. Your legacy might look smaller on the outside, but it might just light up someone's whole sky. Next week, we're diving into how to share your story without sparking debate. Because storytelling isn't about taking sides, it's about taking stock. So start saving those stories and legacies and all that goes with it. And while you're at it, could you help a sister out? Subscribe, like, share. It really helps me to live my dream and my legacy of helping people like you. So I appreciate it. I will be right here next Wednesday with more long form content. And in the meantime, keep walking toward what matters.